And he's new at the job, he says, because for 32 years, Morgan City had one mayor. And Leo Honeycutt, the Louisiana Traveler, he had a chance to meet this guy. And I understand that some of the stories are incredible, including one that some people say is a lot of bull. Here's Leo.
He is the man who has everything, that fellow you've heard so much about. He has trophies, he has medals, he has awards, he has swastikas taken off Nazi war dead. He has pictures from an eventful life, a war record of heroism. And of course, no collection would be complete without at least one 15-foot stuffed alligator in the game room. And oh yeah, he was mayor of Morgan City for over 30 years. He says, quite modestly, that was sort of by default.
Well, I was in the legislature before I was elected mayor.
Oh, you were in the legislature
too? My father died while he was in office, and I ran for his position after he died, and I got it, and I sort of fulfilling his career. And I was elected mayor. And the funny part about it, I've never liked politics. But
Well, now, wait a minute. How can you say that? And yet you were in politics for, what, 35 years then?
I feel that public office and politics are two different things. I differentiate the two. Okay. I like being public office because it gives you something to construct you of a service, but I just don't like the deception, the thing that goes with politics. I never have. It's never appealed to me. And those were just things that I accepted, trying to hold public office. And of course, I had to survive, and I did the best I could. But I've never got a great enjoyment out of politics.
Which is what? What would you call that? Just the art of trying to become a public servant?
Well, you mean what, the art of politics? There's been so terrible much deception, so much goes with the price you got to pay, where if you looked at it as a politician, it's degrading. I always felt that my medical degree shouldn't be commingled with the fact that I was a politician. So I tried to get as far away from the political picture as I could. And I think the only reason I survived was that people had a lot of confidence in me because they knew I was trying to be honest with them. There's so much that you can accomplish by being fair and honest with the people that I want to see how far I'd go, but I never expected to go more than 4 years, and that'd be the end of me as far as the attitude I had. And so happened that I was once asked how long I served. I said I served once every 4 years. That's how long
Well, that's
I've
a
been
good way to put it. So what you're not liking then, you didn't like the fact that politicians in seeking that have to put themselves in compromising situations, making promises sometimes that they can't keep, and just making the promise to get the vote?
Well, a lot of that is true. That you're making a promise. Making a promise to try to perpetuate yourself in politics.
Right.
And that's putting yourself above what you're supposed to do, because there's many and many a time I had to take the raw end of these deals, and I think to this day and time I felt that I was right in most of those cases by doing it, even though it didn't make me very popular. But to me, there's only one thing. I'd live from 1 4 years to the next, and if I could produce in that, that's all I cared for. I never projected myself in any way of making a career of politics. I served as long as the people wanted me, and that was it.
And it seems like even now you're still serving. You're not mayor, but you're on the city council, right? And you're still heavily involved in civic affairs.
Well, it was time. You know, when a man gets to be 71, you lose a lot of your assets. You just don't have what you used to have, and if I can't be of that service and have those assets, I figure I'm not going to be able to do the job I used to do.
Right.
So it's time to let bygones be bygones. And I decided I wasn't going to run. But then again, I decided somebody ought to stay on the council that had a little experience, since we had a new council, and that's why I stayed. And I think I've helped myself in that way, and the satisfaction I was able to give by the experience I had when it was needed. My whole idea was not to prolong or to seek any more political positions, but the main thing was to be of service, which has always been my case. I never did care, like I say, I never did look for prestige. I think I had all the respect I needed, so I didn't need that. And I sure didn't get in for any wealth, because it cost me a lot more than I ever got out of it. So my whole objective was to give a service, and I offered it to people once every 4 years, and they gave it back to me. And don't think don't think I never had any competition. As years go by, you build up people who are going to be against you. And I don't think you make that many friends, but you sure can make enemies. And of course, I went on. I developed coronary trouble. I developed ulcers. I developed a lot of enemies.
Dr. C.R. Brownell was also a bona fide medical doctor all that time, a profession unlike today that afforded him very little time at the Morgan City Country Club.
In those days, we accepted it. We'd sometimes be in the operating room all day. And the things that, the different other things we had to do, deliver babies and all around the clock, and it was just a hard practice. Physically, it was hard.
You had to go out into the swamps.
Oh, yes, we had to make house calls in boats and various places like that.
At this end of your career, you think it was worth it?
Oh, yes, I'd say if I had to do it over again in the same circumstances, yes, I think I have, because I know the record I've set. I don't need anybody to tell me what I've done. I think what I've done is self-satisfaction, and I think that's about as much as anybody can get out of it.
With Tune In Morgan City, Leo Honeycutt, traveling Louisiana.
What a distinct